Vaibhav Suryavanshi. Remember that name.
Definitely a name to watch.
At just 14 years old. I mean, he's not just playing cricket. He's basically rewriting history. Forget whatever you were doing at 14. This teenager just smashed the fastest IPL century by an Indian. And the second fastest ever.
It's genuinely staggering. We're going to dive into the story behind this, well, incredible feat, aren't we?
Absolutely. Think about it.
Yeah.
A kid who wasn't even born when the IPL started steps onto this huge stage and just, well, dominates seasoned professionals.
Yeah.
We've looked through all the news reports, the stats, the background stories.
All the buzz.
Exactly. To bring you the real deep dive into how this happened, what went into it, and what it all means.
And look, this isn't just like a flash in the pan or a few lucky shots. It really feels like the culmination of years of incredible dedication and sacrifice, too.
Let's talk about that innings then. Monday, April 28th, 2025. Jaipur, Rajasthan Royals versus Gujarat Titans.
Right, and the numbers themselves, they really do tell a story, don't they?
Oh, they absolutely do. Fastest IPL 100 by an Indian. Just 35 balls.
35.
Which, to put it into perspective, is the second fastest century in the entire history of the IPL.
And, crucially, the youngest male cricketer ever to score a T20 century. Period.
It just makes you stop and think, what kind of talent just explodes like that?
It's the kind of thing that captures everyone's attention, right? He got 101 runs off only 38 balls.
That's phenomenal striking.
And the power. Think about this. 11 sixes. Some of them just huge, monstrous hits. 3 over 85 meters, 2 over 90. A couple apparently landed on the stadium roof.
Wow, on the roof.
Yeah. Plus 7 boundaries. And his strike rate. Basically how fast he scores. An unbelievable 265.79.
265.
He even got to his 50 in just 17 balls. I mean, that kind of hitting from someone so young, it's just exception.
And the impact it had on the game itself, immediate, decisive.
Totally. His innings basically single-handedly powered the Royals to chase down 200, a big target.
Yeah, huge target. And they did it in just 15.5 overs. That's handling immense pressure like a seasoned pro, not a 14-year-old.
Exactly. And of course, social media just erupted.
Oh, you bet. That question, what were you doing at 14? It was everywhere, wasn't it?
It really was. It tapped into something. People were even drawing parallels, to a young Sachin Tendulkar facing those legendary bowlers way back when.
That's high praise.
It shows the kind of impact, the kind of awe this performance generated. So it makes you wonder, where did this come from? The early signs.
Well, let's dig into that. His childhood coach, Manish Ojha, he's shared some pretty amazing stories. He remembers Vaibhav hitting 90-meter sixes when he was just 10 years old.
90 meters.
Yeah, 10 years old. That's years before most kids are even thinking about that kind of power hitting.
That early power is quite something. Ojha first met him back in 2018, apparently after Vaibhav's father really persistently sought him out. And what Ojha found interesting was how quickly Vaibhav learned. He apparently grasped techniques almost immediately. Didn't need endless repetition.
Like it was intuitive.
Sort of, yeah. That kind of natural feel for the game, it's pretty rare.
Speaks to a real natural gift, doesn't it? There's more evidence. Ojha organized an academy match in 2022. Vaibhav, still very young, scores 118 against state-level under-19 players.
Against older, established players.
Exactly. And again, it wasn't just nudging it around. He was hitting massive sixes, way beyond the boundary. Same power, same timing, same precision we just saw in the IPL. So the signs were definitely there. This wasn't out of the blue.
No, that 2022 match sounds like it was a real marker. It showed he could do it against quality opposition, older opposition, hinted at a maturity maybe beyond his years.
So how do you actually build that kind of power hitter? It wasn't just natural talent, right?
No, definitely not. The work ethic sounds immense, facing, 350 to 400 balls every single day from a really young age.
That's a huge amount of practice.
Yeah.
Serious dedication for anyone, let alone a kid.
It absolutely is. And it wasn't just mindlessly hitting. It involved, the basic drills, covering all the shots, front foot, back foot, lofted drives, cuts, pulls, the works. But also more advanced stuff. Robot throwdowns with specific targets, facing live bowlers with field changes to simulate match pressure. It was about building a complete game, not just raw power.
And technique was key too.
Seems so. Coach Ojha mentioned working specifically on fully opening up his hands through the shot, for timing, for maximum power generation. He even drew comparisons to hitters like Abhishek Sharma and the great Yuvraj Singh.
Yuvraj, right? And that high back lift he has.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's quite distinct, reminds you of Yuvraj, maybe Sourav Ganguly too.
It does.
But the coach, Ojha, didn't try to change it. He didn't try to force some orthodox textbook style on him. He saw it as part of where Vaibhav gets his power.
So embracing his natural style.
Exactly. Coaching that values a player's unique strengths rather than forcing everyone into the same mold.
And underpinning all this talent and training, there's this incredible story of family support, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely central to the whole thing, it seems. His father, Sanjeev Suryavanshi himself, apparently an aspiring cricketer once.
Sure.
He made some extraordinary sacrifices, actually sold family farmland to fund Vaibhav's cricket.
Sold land, wow.
Yeah, and driving him almost 100 kilometers each way to the academy in Samastipur daily.
That's an incredible commitment.
And apparently he'd even pack extra food, not just for Vaibhav, but for the netballers too. Just next level dedication.
It really is. And his mother, Arki, waking up at 2 a.m.
Yeah, 2 a.m. to cook for him before early morning practice. Getting by on maybe 3 hours sleep a night.
It's an unbelievable sacrifice.
It really is. That kind of foundation, that belief from your family. It's powerful.
And his older brother helped out too, stepping up with family responsibilities when the father focused on Vaibhav's cricket.
Right. A real family effort. And Vaibhav himself, he acknowledges it, says he is what he is because of his parents.
You hear that a lot with successful athletes, don't you? That crucial support system behind the scenes.
Definitely. Talent needs nurturing. It needs that environment, that unwavering belief to really flourish, especially when things get tough.
And beyond family, there's been key mentorship too. We mentioned his childhood coach, Manish Osha.
Who spotted him early, yeah. Said he never even had to scold him.
Remarkable. But then at the Rajasthan Royals, you've got figures like Rahul Dravid involved, Vikram Rathore, Romy Bunder, Zubin Parucha. They were all pivotal in his selection, his development there.
Having that kind of experience around you, guiding you through the pressures of the IPL at such a young age, that's invaluable, isn't it?
Absolutely. And apparently right before that record-breaking game, his old coach, Osha, gave him some simple advice.
Oh yeah, what was that?
Just told him not to get rushed, wait for the balls he could really hit, be patient.
And clearly he listened. Simple advice, but effective.
He also looks up to Brian Lara, apparently. Idolizes him.
Oh, Lara. Interesting choice.
Wants to play like him, put the pressure back on the bowlers. Aggressive intent. He apparently watches Lara's 400 not-out innings every weekend.
Every weekend. Wow, that's dedication to your inspiration. It gives him a clear model, doesn't it? An aggressive match-winning blueprint.
It certainly seems to have worked. Now, looking at his rise, it's just been, well, incredibly fast.
Meteoric is the word. Let's run through some of these records because they stack up fast.
Okay. First-class debut for Bihar, January 2024. He was 12 years and 284 days old.
12. Let that sink in. Playing first-class cricket.
Youngest ever for Bihar. Fourth youngest overall in Indian history. Younger than Yuvraj was when he started in that era.
That just signals immense, recognized talent very early on. Then, December 2024, he becomes the youngest Indian listing a debutant.
Another record. And then the IPL this year, 2025. Youngest ever to debut, April 19th.
And get this, the first IPL player actually born after the tournament was established back in 2008. Makes you feel old, doesn't it?
It really does. And his first ball in the IPL?
6. Smashed it for 6. What a way to announce yourself.
Talk about confidence. No fear.
None at all. And then he goes on to become the youngest ever to score an IPL 50 and the youngest in any T20 cricket.
And that innings we talked about, the century, those 11 sixes.
Yeah, that ties the record for the most sixes hit by an Indian player in a single IPL innings. He shares that record now at 14.
It's just achievement after achievement. And financially, this obviously changes things.
Oh, for sure. His estimated net worth is already around 2.5 crore, about $300,000 US. That's significant at any age, let alone 14.
Now reflects his value in the T20 market already.
Absolutely. And his coach, Osha, he's predicted Vaibhav could be playing T20 for India within the next 1 or 2 years.
That's a huge call, but based on what we've seen.
You can see why he'd say it, right?
Yeah.
The potential seems enormous.
But despite all this hype, all the money, his focus seems pretty clear.
Yeah, he talks about wanting to play for India, that's the ambition, and knowing he needs to work hard to get there.
That level of groundedness, that focus at his age, it's quite admirable.
It really is. Suggests he understands the bigger picture.
Now, we should briefly touch on this. There has been some, let's say, noise around his age.
Right. An old interview surfaced from 2023, where he apparently mentioned turning 14 that September.
which doesn't quite match his official birth date, March 27, 2011.
Yeah, and these kinds of discrepancies, understandably, they lead to questions. There have been some allegations floating around since his IPL selection. Age fraud concerns.
This is a sensitive issue in age group sports sometimes.
It is. Though it's worth noting, his family has apparently offered to have another bone age test done by the BCCI to clear things up.
Okay, so they're addressing it.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on, perhaps. But shifting back to the cricket itself, we have that wagon wheel analysis from his century.
Ah, yes, the visualization of where he scored his runs. Very revealing.
It showed a huge majority, like 61% of his runs, and even more of his boundaries. 82% came on the leg side.
Square leg and mid-wicket, his real power zones in that innings.
Yeah. He was just clearing his front foot against the seamers, especially when they bowled length or slightly back the length, and dispatching them.
Total domination of that area. Though his coach did say, if they'd bowled wider outside off stump more often, he probably would have smashed them there too.
Suggests he has the all-round game, even if he favored the leg side on that particular day.
Right. And his mindset. You mentioned that quote.
Oh yeah. Why settle for a single when you can launch one into the stands for 6?
I mean, that just perfectly sums up his approach, doesn't it? Fearless, aggressive, perfectly suited for T20.
Absolutely. And finally, the impact this is having back home in Bihar.
Yeah, that's a really important part of the story. His success is apparently lighting a fire under young cricketers there, especially around Patna.
Giving them hope.
Exactly, showing them that, look, even if you don't have the best resources or facilities, incredible things are possible with talent and sheer hard work.
It shines a light on the potential in regions like that, maybe the need for better support too.
Definitely. It's a powerful message of possibility.
So, wrapping this all up, what does it mean for you watching this? Vaibhav Suryavanshi story, it's clearly more than just stats and records, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a testament, really, to what happens when raw talent meets that unwavering family support, dedicated coaching, and just incredible self-belief.
Makes you think about all the potential just waiting out there everywhere, doesn't it? Waiting for the right chance, the right dedication.
And here's where it gets really interesting, thinking about the future. You've got a 14-year-old facing the world's best bowlers, no fear, hitting balls onto the roof.
Yeah.
What does that say about the limits of passion, of perseverance? And what kind of impact is he going to have on cricket itself? How we spot talent, how we develop it?
Big questions. And maybe here's one final thought for you to really chew on. If a boy training with such dedication, backed so heavily by his family, can conquer the IPL at 14, what other seemingly impossible dreams, maybe in your own life, are actually within reach, with that right mix of talent, hard work, and support?
Maybe Vaibhav's incredible innings isn't just the start of his story, but maybe it's an inspiration, a new chapter for the dreams of countless others too.
Absolutely. Now look, if you found this deep dive into Vaibhav Suryavanshi's incredible journey as fascinating as we did,
And we really did.
and you haven't subscribed yet, well, now is the perfect time. Seriously, hit that subscribe button right below. Click it now so you don't miss out on our next exploration into these kinds of stories, the insights that really matter.
Yeah, we'll keep unpacking the extraordinary for you. Make sure you're subscribed so you catch the next one.